year. Now we're on the 23rd of Kislev. Naturally, we call that in Hebrew Chaf Gimel Kislev. It marks the Hilula of a really great rabbi, 22nd Rishon Lציון. His name was Rabbi Yehudah Navon Z'tl Livracha. Now, he passed away in English in 1844, to be precise. I believe the 4th of December it happened to be. Naturally, the 23rd of Kislev. He was nicknamed the Morana. Very interesting enough. Now, he would go on to become a Shluchei de Rabbanan, representing both Jerusalem and Hebron at different times, and he become the head of the Jewish court in Jerusalem, a Rishon Lezion, the 22nd Rishon Lezion, chief rabbi, let's just say, and Rosh Yeshiva of Damascus Eliezer Yeshiva, which was, I think, named after Rabbi Eliezer Ashkenazi, who he himself happened to be, I think, from Kush, from Istanbul in Turkey. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in Jerusalem, one of the 4 holy cities of Israel, along with Tzfat, Tiberias, and Hebron. It's a holy city. Okay, now he came from great rabbinic heritage, let's just say. His father's name was Rabbi Chaim Raphael Navon. And in fact, he actually came from the famous Navon family. It was a rabbinic dynasty. I believe they actually descended from Spain originally. I'm not too sure which specific year. I think they arrived in the land of Israel in the early 1700s, if I'm not mistaken. And they would, very, very interesting enough. And many, many great rabbis were from the family. I think it was actually Rabbi Ephraim Navon originally emigrated to Jerusalem. He was the first one. And it was many generations which produced great rabbis, leaders, and public figures in of itself. Now, interesting enough, he would go represent as Shluchei de Rabbanan, a rabbinic emissary, on various occasions to various North African countries. Now, first of all, in the year 1797, he was a representative of Hebron, and he went to North Africa to raise funds, while at the same time strengthening those countries, those Jewish communities, respectively. Then come on the year 1836, he would go out as shlichut, as a messenger, of representing Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. And that will also happen again in the year 1844. Now, it's actually interesting. A close relative of his, Rabbi Yonah Moshe Navon, passed away in English in 1841. Interesting enough, he happened to be a Rishon Lezion. He himself did. Rabbi Yonah Moshe Navon. I think we've mentioned about him on various occasions before. He had various different roles and was one of the great rabbis over there. And he himself happened to be a Shluchei de Rabbanan, a rabbinic emissary. So he would actually take over his position as the Rishon Lezion in the year 1841, and he was appointed, I think, at the same time, the head of the Jewish court over there. And this was a position, it would last for approximately about a year, which was a 22nd Rishon Lezion, very, very prominent position it is. And I think he would be taken over afterwards by Rabbi Chaim Avram Gagin, another great rabbi, a great Kabbalist in his time. Now, it's actually interesting. During his time period, while he was alive, he would, I believe, author the Torah work called the Degel Machaneh Ephraim. Now, I believe this had various different answers and questions which were asked from the Sefer of his grandfather, the famous rabbi, the famous author of the great book called the Machaneh Ephraim, a book we've spoken about before. This was actually from Rabbi Ephraim Navon, who happened to be a great posek halacha and someone well known, which is interesting now. Now, Rabbi Yehudah Navon passed away on Chaf Gimel Kislev in English year 1844. He was buried in Har HaZeitim in the Mount of Olives burial plot in the Sephardi section, I believe. Among his descendants includes Yosef Navon, another very famous public figure in of itself. I think he worked in banking, if I'm not mistaken, was very well known. I think he passed away in English year 1934, 90 years ago. His grandson did. And it's actually interesting. There was also another great one, Moshe Ephraim Navon, if I'm not mistaken, was a great man of the congregation of Jerusalem. He was a judge also, if I'm not mistaken. And he was part, I think, of the Chaver Va'at Ha'idah HaSfardit, also, which is a very prominent position in his time period, and something we should speak about more. He himself, Rabbi Moshe Ephraim Navon, passed away in English year 1918. So very interesting. And please, friends, don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. 23rd of Kislev is the 22nd Rishon Letzion's Hilula. Great rabbi from Jerusalem, just one of the great rabbis spoken about. Our friends, we've already covered in this series about 550 rabbis. We've covered many great rabbis who were born from Jerusalem. We've covered many great Rishon Litzions of yesteryear. If you happen to be related to any of these great rabbanim we have spoken about, please send me a comment or an email. I'd love to hear more. Please, if anyone is interested in watching these videos, share the videos to other people. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We are a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Wishing you all well, Shavua Tov, and take care from Israel.